So we need to those are fence. What's up, guys? We're just getting ready and getting everything shared out. Yeah, we already got 5 of you. Welcome.
Woo!
Welcome. Let us know you're here by saying hello in the comments below. Sarah's got her audio up, so that's going to turn into something on your end. I'll echo there for you. All right, so I got my share done. I'm going to close that out. Yeah, all right. So here we go. Guys, let me know what you think about this. What would you call this? A pre-show screen, I guess.
Yeah.
So rather than what we used to do is just have this whole screen orange with a countdown timer, and then when the countdown timer was over, we brought it to the live show. It gave us time to share it out, kind of make sure everything here is pushing out to you guys correctly and all that. But we were like, maybe give them a behind-the-scenes look on what's going on, and might be more interesting than the dial. But let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Last minute text? Oh, that's okay. My guys group talking nonsense like guys groups do. All right. Sure. Tell you what, Sarah, you ready to go?
Let's do it.
I'm ready to go. So we will press this and we will bring you guys right in. Welcome.
Hello.
To Ask A Fence Gal Fri-YAY edition.
Yep.
Now, we are in a new quarter. We are officially in second quarter.
Yep.
This is the second broadcast of second quarter.
Yep.
So we need to, or I think we need to re-vote on is it Fri-YAY or Friday? Or is there a third option?
We're going to have a enter in the blank. If you have a better option, Friday or Fri-YAY, we'll listen to it.
Do you trust them? I mean, I trust most of you, but you trust
there's a couple
them
of
in general.
But I think we give it a try.
Okay.
I think we give it a try.
Give it a shot.
Yep.
What do you guys think? So the question is it Ask a Fence Gal Friday?
Yes.
Or Ask a Fence Gal Fri-YAY, or something different?
Yes. Revolving around Friday.
Yeah, Ask a Fence. Yeah, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
The blank is Friday.
Yep.
Ask a Fence Gal this. It's usually either Friday or Fri-YAY.
Yep.
First quarter vote was Fri-YAY.
Sure.
Now, we touched on this at the end of the last broadcast. I think we need to talk about it again.
Okay, let's hear it. Oh. Okay, I thought you might have like a prop.
Well, this is a prop.
Oh, that is the prop.
This is my prop.
Yes, let's hear it.
Someone has also begun calling their broadcast Fri-YAY.
Yep.
Now, granted, they do daily lives. No, we're not to that level yet.
Not yet.
But, and I'm looking at you. I know he watches. He told me he watches.
Oh.
I know you're watching, and you know who you are. Republic Nutrition. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, okay. You did.
I'm going to say it.
You
I did.
called him out. Okay.
It was Ask a Fence Gal Fri-YAY. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And when we voted, we got to claim that title, Fri-YAY.
Yeah. Yep. Almost like a copyright.
Well,
Facebook Live.
Yeah, a Facebook Live copyright. Yeah.
Yep.
Title, description, the whole thing.
Yeah.
He keeps on doing it. Fri-YAY.
You know what? I think we got.
Here's the thing. I'm going to call all of our people to action.
Oh, okay.
This is a call to action.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I want you to go in there. Republic Nutrition. It's right there on 60. And I want you to tell him.
Yep.
It's Ask a Fence Gal Fri-YAY.
Yep.
Only do that after. I mean, if you're there and you're thirsty
Well, you're gonna be thirsty from storming in there.
You will be, and especially
It's a
when you
little warm
walk in
outside,
there
you know.
and you know the
Yeah.
smell.
Yes, you're gonna
Go
walk
ahead
in
and
there.
go ahead and get a
And
tea
you're
while
gonna
you're there.
say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I would like a delicious lemonade,
Yes.
but also it's Ask A Fence Gal Fri-YAY."
P.S.
Yes.
It's Ask A Fence Gal Fri-YAY.
Please, can I have a
Please.
straw with that?
Please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Please and thank you.
Yep.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Or it could go something like this.
Okay.
You walk in there politely.
Yes.
And you say in a very nice, polite tone.
You might even open the door for someone.
Oh yeah.
When they're coming in.
Let them in.
Yeah.
Let them in.
Yeah.
And then you say, "Please, may I have a Mahomes?"
Oh, I like that one. Okay.
P.S.
Yeah.
If you could call it something else besides Fri-YAY,
yeah. Joe and Sarah would really appreciate it.
please and thank you.
And also, I'm supposed to be really mad.
Yeah.
Give him one of these.
Yeah. I am politely being called to action.
Yes. Yep.
Republic Nutrition on US 60. You just
very good.
walk in there and you tell them.
Those are.
And if you happen to be coming back to Springfield or coming back by the office,
yeah. Wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hate if you just happen to have a couple extra.
Yeah, Mahomes or Bee's Knees, whatever. Lemonades.
That's good.
Oh, Bee's Knees is where it's
good.
at. This started out its life this morning. What was it? This was a Miami Vice.
Oh.
I believe. Now, I drank it all.
Well, sure.
And I filled it back up with water. You know, because there's still some goodness left in
there. There's a blue one. It almost tastes like a Jolly Rancher kind of.
You know
what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Taylor brought me that one. That one's
yes,
good.
I do.
That was good, and I got a little jittery. It was awesome. It's not often. I drink a lot of coffee, so it is not often that I feel the effects of a caffeinated drink.
Sure.
That one I did. I was like, okay, all right. I see you.
I see you.
Anyway.
But
yes, delicious place.
Yeah, for real. Man. Great guys and gals. Sure. Guys and gals.
Oh, we got people saying hi.
We got comments. As you guys are dropping in, let us know you're here by saying hi. Yeah. Just Brightwell wants to know if we have any North Carolina locations.
We should.
Fortunately not. Yeah. We're actually from North Carolina.
Yep.
So we were born in Raleigh, North Carolina, lived in Cary for a while before coming back here and taking the Ozark fence mantle, and taking up the fence life. But nope, no North Carolina locations. But that would be nice to go back and visit occasionally.
It would.
Hello, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
How are you?
Welcome.
Good to see you again. All right. We talk about Max now?
I could talk about Max all day.
That's going to need to be like 4 or 5 episodes long. Yeah. It's going to be a mini series all about Max.
All about Max.
And that's just his day today.
Yeah.
So.
Big fan.
We've talked about, actually, Max I think we could have in studio.
We could, yeah.
Piper?
She'd be a little.
We could have Piper in studio.
Yeah.
And then we
just hear it.
We wouldn't have a studio.
Yeah.
The only camera that would be safe would be the up high camera.
Correct. If her tail didn't get the cords.
That's right. Yeah. Take out the cords in the desk below the up high camera. And then that camera shot too. So, you know what, Pat? You just let us know what you want to talk about Max. And we'll talk about Max.
Oh.
For those of you that don't know Max, he is our one of 2 office. What do we call it? Not office managers.
Well, he's manager on duty.
Manager on duty. Yeah. That's right. Yep. Oh, Zach came up with a good one last week. What was it? It was. Zach, if you're watching, please let us know again. Because I saw the comment after this was over, and I literally laughed out loud.
Oh,
it was a real life lol. I don't say lol. I just say lol.
I saw a friend of mine is a veterinarian.
Okay.
And her sister was posting stuff. She had broke her foot, and so she went to the veterinarian office to get x-rays.
Okay.
And she's like, I'm at the doctor. Instead of doctor, it's doctor. I was like, oh, that's great. I love it.
I love it. But anyway.
Can we skip to that last comment real quick? It's Max related.
Oh.
Don't worry, Pat. Max is listening in.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Max is a good boy.
Yeah. You want to go outside? She's just a little mad right now.
Oh, no. And you did it. Who wants a treat?
Yeah.
Mark says, yippee-yay!
Indeed, it's Friday. Woohoo!
Now, is Mark voting? Is this a suggestion? Should it be Ask a Fence Gal?
Yippee-yay.
Yippee-yay Fri-YAY?
Oh, Yippee-yay Fri-YAY.
Yippee-yay Fri-YAY.
Okay. I like that one.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, it
Could
is now.
Be. Yeah. Could be. Hello, Mandy. How are you? Our
welcome.
Stain and Seal expert, one of the Stain and Seal expert rock stars.
Yep.
She's a social media rock star for Stain and Seal experts. Welcome, Mandy.
Welcome.
So glad to have you along. So, well, Fence King is here with us. What is up, Dan?
Hi, Fence King.
How are you?
Welcome.
Good to see you again. Hope you got the fence prince out there just, doing fence stuff, fence-related things. Dustin Hooten, what is up?
Hello.
Now, do you know Dustin?
I don't think so.
Dustin built our dip tank.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Working like a champ, Dustin.
I'm sure I met him.
Many thanks. Yeah, you probably saw him when he came through. Many thanks. I think he's working like
awesome.
A champ.
Sure is.
What's up, Michael? Happy Fri-YAY.
I like it.
That's right. Welcome, Mike. So now Michael is also one of the Stand Still Experts rock stars.
Cool. Awesome.
So,
welcome.
And fun fact for those of you watching, Michael's got a nickname.
Oh, yeah?
And it's Bam Bam.
Bam Bam.
Haven't figured out why. I didn't actually get the story behind Bam Bam. They just introduced him at, that's obvious. That's like the obvious, but
I think maybe
the way nicknames go.
Well, Bam Bam's kind of like, he's kind of sporadic, right? Like he's kind of.
Okay.
So I'm thinking.
Michael is high energy.
I was going to say, are you a bull in a china shop? Is that what Bam Bam? You know what I mean?
I could see that. I could see that.
I don't know. I am.
Could be.
Yeah.
Another great guy at Stand Still Experts.
I like it though, regardless.
What's up, Justin? Commercial fence man out of West Virginia.
Nice.
Hello.
Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Appreciate you letting us know you're here and coming and joining us. Guys, as you're joining us, let us know you're here by saying hello. So the thing up top just tells us how many people are watching, but doesn't tell us who's watching. Yep. And we like to say hello.
I do.
All right. Well, guys, I actually have the first thing to talk about actually got phoned in to me earlier today.
Okay.
So Alan out of Oklahoma, he called me up and we had a chat. He said, I'm not going to be able to watch the broadcast today, but I got a subject to talk about.
All right.
Okay. And it's utility locates. So he's over in Oklahoma. So they have, what do you call it? OK One Dig. So, okay. Or it's OK Dig. I think it's okay. That makes sense.
Dig. Yeah.
But they called the one call. And now whether it's Missouri One Call or OK Call or OK Dig or whatever, what we're talking about is the line locators, the utility locators, public utility locators that come out to mark all of the utilities.
Yep.
Now, Sarah, so let's start off with why that's important.
Right. So, as anyone knows, whenever you're going down the road, there's just so many different types of utilities that are there. Some are underground, some are above ground, some are a mixture of both.
Right.
Especially with electric. Electric's can go either way.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you think you know where it's at and it isn't always there. So needless to say, a lot of those lines aren't more than 2-3 feet in the ground.
Right.
So there's a good possibility that while we're digging, we could find one.
Because we dig 2 to 2.5 feet deep.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So here we have just a plethora of different communication companies too. So we've got MediaCom, we've got, like your phone lines, AT&T. Just
CenturyLink.
Right. And just because you may not have those services doesn't mean that those are not run to your house.
Right. Or one thing that we see sometimes is it also doesn't mean that your neighbor's line wasn't run through part of your yard.
That's pretty common. Yeah.
Because what'll happen, just a quick aside, is we'll find a utility that's not located. It will hit it. We're great at finding utilities. And our client will say, well, that's fine. I don't have, we don't have AT&T or MediaCom. We don't have any of those services. Oh, okay. But then the neighbor comes out.
Yep.
And says, hey, you guys knocked out my internet. Well, that's weird because we are digging inside the neighbor's property line.
Right.
But it happens.
But when you do a locate request, it encompasses all of those.
Right.
So it's basically any utility that is a public utility. So any utility that you pay for that you have not placed yourself.
Sure.
That's where it locates everything that is in that area. So what they do is they have they kind of have like a big map from what I understand after talking to some of the USIC personnel. They'll know, okay, based on this house and this address, I know that there's AT&T in the area. I know that they use Empire Electric. I know that, so they'll give me a list of 5 to 6 utility companies that they know in the area. And then some of those do it themselves. And so they'll come out and locate, and then sometimes they subcontract to Missouri One Call. And so there may be just one person.
USIC is a subcontractor.
Correct, yeah.
So like if it's AT&T that has utility, they'll subcontract out to USIC to do the locate. And USIC contracts out to the majority of them. Yes. Some municipalities do it themselves.
Some of the smaller towns, most of the smaller towns do those themselves.
Sure.
Yep. Yep. But they'll know in advance. Like Nix is really great. Nixa goes, no, all the utilities are in the front. All public utilities are. So if you get water from them, electric, anything like that, they know it only runs to the front of the house.
Yeah. And so let's give a little bit more depth to this. So when you issue the notice, you're saying we're going to work in the backyard and both sides to the front corners of the house.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll put in the address and it'll pull up a map. And so of that map, it says, hey, I think that this is the house that you're requesting. So, yep, that's the house. And it'll ask me if I want to do either a plot, which is the entire property, and then it'll ask me what parts of that property. Or I can do, if we're just doing maybe the back line, you can do a route. And so then you draw the route that you're doing. That way, I like to do that if we're only doing a little piece.
Sure.
Because that way the locators aren't having to mark the entire yard.
Everything to the house, yeah.
But they have the different options are front, back, left, right, entire property. So we normally do left, right, and back.
Sure. Yep. And so that I was just trying to explain a little bit when you said some utilities or some municipalities can look at your notice and say, nope, we're coming from the front. You said that you're only going to be in the back. We don't have anything in the backyard. Clear. So they'll give it a clear / no conflict.
Correct. Yep. And then if they mark it, they'll just tell us marked. And normally they'll put like a flag there too, just in case you're mowing your yard, that sort of thing. You're not just relying on the paint.
That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. It gives us, I always do it the Friday before we start the project. So every once in a while they request an extension to go out there, which is fine. But that way it's completed by that Monday.
Right.
And so that way I can go by on Friday, make sure everything's good, make sure that there's no conflicts with utilities, because that's pretty common.
That's the big thing is I like the fact that you make a trip out the Friday before we start so that you can put eyes on it and say, a couple things. One, it gives you a chance to talk to the client and say, ooh, I know we talked about coming to here, this far up the house, but you've got a water line coming in or whatever it is. We need to talk about moving this.
Yep.
It also gives you the chance to then talk to our guys and say, okay, I had eyes on it. And usually this is in the form of notes in the job file, but saying, pay attention to this, be careful of that. I talked to the homeowner. We're doing this in response to it. So it gives you the opportunity to put the game plan together before we've got crews there on the yard.
Correct. Yep.
Now, I think one thing to talk about, you guys see your comments lining up, and we'll definitely grab them. I wanted to stay on the same train of thought because I know me. And when I start rabbiting off, chasing rabbits, squirreling off, we're going down rabbit holes.
There you go.
That's the one. I know I won't ever come back to this thought. So let's talk about private versus public utilities.
Sure.
Private being, like you said, lines you'd either placed yourself or a contractor placed that wasn't. I'm having a hard time putting words on this, I guess, just because I'm thinking that irrigation's usually the biggest one.
Yes.
Right. But sometimes we come into private electric. Being that, so it's public electric that's run to the house. So typically line locators, it is public utility up to a meter.
Correct.
Or a demarcation. And when I say demarcation, I say that because like AT&T and Mediacom, you don't have an internet meter.
Right.
But you do have that demarcation box that denotes this is the public side, this is the private side of that utility. We say that too because water is typically they mark it to the meter, but the meter is typically near the road. And they won't mark water from the meter to your house. That's the private portion of that utility. What we've seen occasionally is electric that is run from the house out to
like a
shed or a detached garage or something like that. And that portion of the utility would be private.
Yes.
And they won't mark it just because typically
they don't know where they're at.
That's right. And when the contractors place them, typically they won't place with tracer wire. It's just, you would rarely need it. Except for when you need a fence. Yeah. So the private utilities don't get marked. Another example of a private utility might be like well water. Right.
A septic system.
Yep. Septic system. That's right. So they don't mark the private utilities. And this is usually a conversation that comes up at some point, early on in your conversation, right? You have sewer, water, or well, that sort of thing. So to look for it anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a quick breakdown. So the reason Alan brought this up, so he found a coax utility. So coax would be like an old school Mediacom, like a DSL internet, that sort of thing that wasn't marked. So there were no markings on this sideline. He was drilling, and sure enough, he found it, poked a hole. Well, Alan he has a process similar to ours, in that if you do find a utility and it is damaged, you immediately stop, of course, expose whatever damage is done, start taking pictures.
Yep.
Take pictures of the damage with a measuring tape over to the nearest marking to show. And the reason we do the measuring tape is when there's a line in the ground, typically you have a 2-foot margin of error on either side.
Right.
So you have a 4-foot swath that utility really could be located in. We start taking pictures. Actually, there was no utilities anyway. So we start taking pictures. Well, the locator came and saw the damage and then started painting.
Yeah.
And said, "Oh, this is where it is actually." And
that's fine, but it wasn't originally marked.
That's right. So the utility company sent Alan a $6,000 bill. Yep. Said, "This is for damaging the utilities." Luckily, Alan had taken the pictures. Yep. And he actually had taken a walk around video too. But mistakes happen.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
But you take the right steps to where if the mistakes do happen, you protect yourself and your clients that you're working for.
Absolutely.
So anyway, for those fence contractors out there, because I know we've got some fence guys that watch.
Yeah.
Pictures and videos can be invaluable.
Yeah, always. And when in doubt, that's what I would say, is always take a picture. We ran into an instance last year where we had put up the fence and everything was great. And so we finished on that Friday, and that Saturday I got a call from the customer saying, "Hey, you guys didn't happen to hit anything while you're out here, did you?" Well, no, Scott. That's the first call. The first thing Scott does is take pictures, and the second thing Scott does is he calls me and he says, "Hey, heads up, I hit, what?" And sometimes it can be very exciting. So if they don't mark a gas line correctly, which has happened.
So here's a fun story on why gas lines couldn't get hit. So gas line in Springfield proper, in old Springfield, they go off hand-drawn maps sometimes. So it's not like an exact science. They'll paint on the ground according to this map, as I understand it. Right. This is where it should be.
Yeah. But yeah, so they don't always know. Well, in that case, there aren't fines that are like given out.
No,
someone is just gets a slap on the wrist and told to be more careful.
Or they update the map.
That's
because
true too. Yeah.
we've done that before, where we'll find one by hitting it, and they'll go, "Huh, wasn't on the map.
Not on here.
We need to update the map, I guess."
Well, and the problem is that immediately they're not completely sure if it's an abandoned one too, or if it's like more recent. So that can be really exciting. If you have ever wanted to see any emergency response team, that's one way to do it. Yeah.
And you get to see all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Pretty
Especially
quickly.
if it's a pretty slow day. They're all there. Yep. All of them. Yeah.
So when the last time we hit one, which I think is the one to talk about, we were talking to Scott, or I was talking to Scott, he's like, the police blocked off the road, and then the fire showed up with an ambulance to stop by too, just to see if anybody, and then the gas guys come, and so here's the thing about gas, and this is a fence guy's understanding of the whole situation. But they said, "No, let's," and they came walking up, and they're like, once, one, this is like a little residential gas line. Two, once it gets into the open atmosphere, it's not really a big deal.
Right.
But you have procedures there just in case, because no one knows what size it is. No one knows if there's something flammable right next to it, that sort of thing. Yeah. But sometimes it's comical to see all of the emergency vehicles, and then the gas guys show up. They're like, "Oh, yeah, no problem."
And a lot of times, it takes them maybe 30 minutes to fix it, if that. One time it was like this, I'm sure someone will correct me, but it was like an industrial duct tape that they literally like placed like over the tiny nick. And they're like, "Yeah, it's fine." What? That's it? Like all this excitement for that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's not always totally accurate. But to your point, sometimes they're not quite sure. So they'll just sometimes they'll mark excessively, and sometimes they won't hardly mark at all. So you just have to be careful of that. That instance I was talking about earlier, they had a neighbor who actually decided to put in their own hammock that weekend. And then threw a fit that something was out. I don't know if it's their Wi-Fi or something. And so the customer's like, "Hey, I just have to do my due diligence. You guys didn't hit anything, right?" I said, "No, we didn't hit anything." She goes, "Okay." She's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was right after they put up their hammocks. I think they did, but they saw a brand new fence." So someone to kind of take that bill. So when in doubt, always just Make sure that you have your all clear. That's really important.
Yep.
And 2, take photos.
Document everything.
Yep, absolutely.
It takes 2 minutes to do a job site walkthrough and take pictures of everything, or a video. Yep. Video is usually even better, than pictures, but takes a couple minutes. But in Alan's case, that was a $6,000 set of pictures.
Yep.
So could end up saving you quite a bit, and your customer. Yeah. That's the thing is we talk about the importance of hiring licensed and insured contractors, and one of the reasons that you want them insured is for something like this. If you hit a fiber optic line, those repairs typically start around $3,000 if it's a residential drop to a house. Now, if it's a feeding line, and I'm sure that's not the correct term for it, but if it's a fiber line that's feeding several houses, that starts in at 5 figures. It starts at 11 or 12,000 and goes from there. And if your contractor is not insured, if you're using a handyman or something like that, and not to say anything about handyman, but if they're not properly insured, then the utility provider comes back to the homeowner that was having the work done.
You hired this professional to do the job, and Yep.
So while we do have insurance, obviously we take the steps to cover our bases and our clients' bases, but in the event that something crazy happens, we are covered by insurance that can then step in and take care of that. Still add another layer of protection for the client.
Yep, absolutely.
Look at us talking about fence stuff for a while. All right, let me. I gotta scroll up. I love it. Did I go too far? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I did.
There we go.
Finch Prince is here.
Hello, Dylan.
Finch Prince checking in, or he started off with "Hi, Sarah."
I know.
Hello.
Oh, and hey to the goodness.
Sorry, I haven't been on lately. Can't keep up with work. It's been crazy down here. That's absolutely.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. Yep.
And hey to the. Oh, okay. Oh, I need to read it before I start giving commentary here, apparently. Hey to that guy next to you. What's his name? Joe? Hi, Finch Prince. Hilarious. Hilarious. Welcome, Dylan.
Yes.
AKA Finch Prince.
Yeah, Finch Prince.
Down in Louisiana. Hello, Steph.
Hi, Steph.
Hello. Hi, Joe and Sarah. I like how she's got it figured out.
Yeah.
Where Sarah and Joe and then absolutely.
Yep. She alternates.
And we learned last week, 2 weeks ago, we learned that her system was Post-it notes.
Yep.
And last week, we learned that her Post-it notes are slowly but surely turning orange. They're getting transferred to orange. Pretty big fan of that decision. Taylor says, hello, Taylor. And probably Jackson and Josie. What time is it? It's obviously after 12. So Macy's in school.
Okay.
Well, so Macy had better not be watching unless it's a replay.
Sure.
She can watch the replay.
Can watch it.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
All
right. Justin says, anyone wants to be able to help? If so, always call before breaking on questionable ground. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So 811 is the North American, what do I say? It's a way to dial up whoever your utility locator is in your area, 811 in North America. So it's going to be United States and Canada.
Perfect.
So,
very cool.
Man, I tell you what. So through the YouTube channel, we're getting feedback from like UK watchers. Right now, we've got a video that's going really well in New Zealand, and it seems like every country has their same thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it seems to be pretty universally 811. So I say North America because I know that for a fact. But
good to know.
You know what? If you're sitting there wondering, I wonder if 811 works. Dial them up. Just see. Yeah. Maybe it does.
Carefully dial 811. Don't let your finger slip.
Oh yeah, don't dial the 911. Absolutely, no.
Unless you
the
need
811.
Then
if it's an emergency, you absolutely.
Yes, you absolutely.
You do not call 811.
Not 811.
They will not be able to help you.
No, I mean they could try, but
they will tell you to hang up.
Not as effective.
Call 911. Yeah. Right. Justin says, do you use Hydrovac if you must be close to utilities? So we have once. So we were working for the city. Now this has been, I don't know, probably 10 or 12 years ago. It's been a while. We were working for the city, and the fence had to go exactly where they said it needed to go. And there was what was it? Oh, it was a street light. It was a signal light. So the signal department said that this is where the line is, but the fence had to go a foot away from this line. So then the city sent out their Hydrovac and Hydrovac that out. Nice. So, and Dustin, that's been the one time that we've used a Hydrovac. Right. Every now and then I get a crazy idea and I look into how much they cost because I'm like, they could be nice to have. And then I see how much they cost. And I'm like, we'll just file that idea away for when they get less expensive. But I mean, hydrovac is a good idea. So the way a hydrovac works, it's essentially a pressure washer nozzle, so high pressure water, and then, or I guess not super high pressure because it's not going to penetrate a line, and then a ginormous truck size or trailer sized shop vac. So as the water's doing its, chewing away of the dirt, this vacuum is sucking the slurry out. So it leaves you a hole, but you don't have to worry about cutting utilities. You don't have to worry about damaging, whatever it is that's underground. So I think it's a great idea, Dustin. Once the technology becomes more affordable on the smaller scale, I think it's a great idea. So there's some YouTubes. Actually, we need to review some of these YouTubes. But there are some YouTube videos of people taking basically like a shop vac, a really big shop vac, and a pressure washer, and doing their own version of that. So this comes to mind every time we're near a utility. I'm like, this is where it has to go, and we really need to put it here. And it's like, no, not. No. One day, Dustin, one day. Brent Mitch, what is up, you Brent. Beautiful person?
Yes, hello.
Brent. Brent's I say this every week, and I mean it every time. Brent's like my favorite part of the broadcast. Yeah. He's just like so chipper and upbeat. I hear his voice when he says it, when I read that. Yeah.
That's great.
It's kind of like if you read something like in Samuel L. Jackson's voice in your mind, you're like, I can't even do it. I was getting ready to try. I'm like, nope. Don't even try it. Oh, there we go. Jackson says hi. What is up, Action Jackson? Hello, buddy.
Hello.
But just remember, it's quiet time. So we need to be having quiet time on the couch.
Yep.
So, yeah. Roger Wakefield. What?
Hi, Roger. Welcome. Welcome to the broadcast.
Roger, you knew me first. You literally knew me before you knew her.
Technicalities.
Oh, I tell you what. Candace, what is up? Candace is our retail rock star up front. She's watching from approximately 100 foot that way. Hello, Candace. Thank you for holding down the fort. Candace has been on a roll lately.
Yeah. She's been
I tell you what. So, it's that time of year. As Dylan mentioned, we've been incredibly busy.
Yes.
But we've been selling a lot of materials.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons they're being, fencing materials in general right now, the pricing is not stable, to put it mildly.
Yes.
It seems like we were having this conversation yesterday because we had another delivery, and every single week with every single delivery, the prices have gone up. And we figure this out when they hand us the invoice after they've unloaded the material. For example, a black-coated 1 5/8" female hinge. We typically pay about 90 cents for those. Yesterday, we paid $2.12.
Lovely.
Bit of a difference. And like I said, this came to our attention after we've been given the invoice and our credit card had been ran. So good information to have. But materials continue to increase. The cost of these materials continues to increase. So what we're seeing is the conversation that you and I have talked about this. The conversation that you're having is, well, this, the price is significantly higher than my budget.
Right.
But for my budget, I could probably buy the materials and put this thing in myself. So we're seeing an uptick on material sales. Yep. So now we're also seeing an uptick on installed sales too. So those are rocking right along as well.
Yeah.
But
which is good.
Candace has been keeping the retail sales under control.
Absolutely.
Great job, Candace. Oh, okay. Everybody's a comedian. That's all I'm going to say. Welcome, Roger. So Roger's actually how I got my start on YouTube.
Yeah.
So and everyone that watches this has probably already heard this story a million times, including Sarah. But I met Roger at Social Media Marketing World.
Okay.
So this was going to be your first year at Social Media Marketing World.
Yep.
And then the pandemic said, nope, that's not going to happen. So next year will be your first year at Social Media Marketing World. Yeah, knock on wood. So what this is it's a massive convention where thousands of people from literally all over the world show up in San Diego and spend 3 to 4 days just drinking out of a fire hose of knowledge about anything and everything social media. They have different tracks. So they've got a Facebook, a YouTube, an Instagram, a LinkedIn, TikTok. I mean, you name it, there's a track for that. And each track has multiple speakers. And it's just,
cool.
It's unreal. So I met Roger there. He's like, he goes, man, I'm a plumber. He goes, what is a fence guy doing here? And I said, well, probably, I don't know, probably the same thing a plumber's doing. Like, I'm here trying to figure it out. And he goes, I said, what do you do? He said, I'm a plumber. He goes, I also have this YouTube channel. He goes, you should have a YouTube channel. YouTube channel? So I'm a fence guy. He goes, yeah. And I'm a plumber. You should have a YouTube channel. I was like, oh yeah, I'll look into that. The next year I see him. He says, hey man, I've been looking and you don't have a YouTube channel yet. I said, no. He said, you need a YouTube channel. I said, I know. He said, I'll tell you what, me and Will's his stepson. So he says, me and Will are going to take you to dinner. He said, we're going to talk to you about YouTube. And they sat me down.
Good.
And they gave me a talking to, and we talked about YouTube. And,
awesome.
And yeah, that is what started my YouTube career.
Very
so
cool.
Roger, thank you very much. I can't say thank you enough. Brent's out in the Mojave Desert dirt bike race this weekend.
What doesn't he do? You know?
Is Brent the most interesting man in the world?
I think so. You know what? We haven't seen a Dos Equis commercial in a while.
Have you ever seen Brent and the most interesting man in the world in the same room together?
No. Sure haven't. I've actually never been in the room with the most interesting man in the world. But if I had, I bet Brent would.
Well, like no commercials or anything either. Like I've never met in person, but to be fair, I've never met Brent in person either.
But of those commercials, I haven't seen Brent in them.
Brent's been in none of those.
None of them.
So, Brent, we're on to you. Yeah,
we're on to you. Yep,
on to you for sure. What's up, Lori? Lori says,
"Hi,
what's
Lori.
up, peeps? Happy Friday!
Thank you for watching."
Lori. Lori is one of our call center rock stars.
Yep.
So she makes sure all the phones are getting answered and making sure Stephanie has all the resources she needs to give our clients complete and utter satisfaction. So
that's exactly it.
Lori, thank you. Ken says, I can't wait till we're a little more settled in and can really start to run with it. We really do have some amazing customers I'm very privileged to work with.
Absolutely.
That's very well said.
Yeah. I said a bit of myself.
And Karen has a great point. We're still settling in.
Yeah. A little organization needs to happen in the lot.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, in the lot and in the office, it's crazy. It really is. I thought we would move in the wintertime when things were slow. The thing is, things haven't been slow in the winter in 8 or 9 years. Like we haven't had a slow winter in quite a while. With the exception of in February, the 2 weeks of snow that absolutely shut everything down. So it's either busy or nothing's happening.
Yep.
But yeah, we've got some organization to do. We've got with the organization in the lot though. So we just bought a bunch of more materials, a lot more material coming in. So we bought a lot of aluminum yesterday afternoon. So we got a call from one of our suppliers that said they were sitting on several hundred panels of 4 foot tall flat top aluminum, which we use a lot of. So he said, I've only got 300 panels left. I can give you 200. How many do you want?
Yep.
And the only acceptable answer was all of them. Whatever you can give me, send it in a truck.
Yep.
And then, after we hung up and the confirmation came through, I'm sitting there and going, where are we going to put it? Mm-hmm. I don't know. So we're going to have to figure that out. Figure out where to put a couple hundred panels of aluminum fencing. So if you or somebody is interested in aluminum fence, not only have we secured the material, we actually secured a decent price on it too.
Yeah.
So by buying in bulk, you can usually secure a little bit better pricing. Yep. And now we've kind of insulated ourselves and our clients from aluminum increases for the next little bit. So we have roughly 200 panels, which on average in a residential job is about 20 panels. Sometimes less, sometimes more. On average, about 20 panels. So we have enough for about 10 jobs coming in. It should be here next week. So if you or somebody needs an aluminum fence, we've got the material and we've secured a pretty good price on it.
Yeah, because typically it's like a 6-week lead time to be able to get it from the manufacturer. That's been a huge thing for us is actually getting it in.
Sure.
So to be able to have it in to where we can just schedule it with our normal 4-week window would be amazing.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
So we've got that. And we're in conversations with a fitting supplier to bring in a significant amount of fittings for the same benefit, being it secures a good price for our clients. It also normalizes pricing for a little while. So instead of us going, oh yeah, that female hinge used to cost 90 cents, now it costs a couple dollars.
Yep.
It's going to say, okay, we know now. We bought 6 months worth of these things. For the next 6 months, our cost is going to be whatever it ends up being. So something we're trying to do. I mean, so as Sean King likes to say, it's a twofer. It's a 2-for-1. So it's good for us because we know what the price is going to be. It gives us more stability, but also it gives stability to our clients. So because right now, pricing is, we guarantee pricing for 5 days. Some of our suppliers don't guarantee pricing at all.
No.
It's, speaking of aluminum, there are aluminum manufacturers out there that aren't giving secure pricing to their suppliers, our suppliers, until that material ships.
Yeah.
So if we ordered, if there's a custom order aluminum that we order right now, and it doesn't ship, so we talked about one, and it was 12 weeks?
Yes.
They won't give us a guaranteed price until that ships 12 weeks from now. And what are the chances that aluminum pricing is going to change sometime in the next 3 months?
Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty darn good.
Almost 100%, I'd say.
Yeah.
So anyway, I say all that to say we're doing our best to secure the materials we need to try to normalize pricing. But sometimes it's out of our control too.
Correct.
Let's get back to the comments. Brent, you bet. So every time I wind up in San Diego, I always look at a map because I'm like, oh, I'm in California.
Yeah.
Brent's in California. So I look at a map and I go, oh, California is significantly larger than I thought or that I remembered. And I am at the far south side and Brent's up towards the north side.
Yes.
So, but I absolutely will let you know. So typically, I want to say Social Media Marketing World 2022 is March.
That sounds right.
Yeah, usually it's last week in February. I think this year it's actually first week in March. So, Brent, we will let you know closer to time.
That would be awesome to meet you in person.
Absolutely. Justin says, care to hit on the benefits of the YouTube channel since you started it? Absolutely. Well, Candace could tell you a benefit of it. So yesterday, a gentleman came through the door and ordered some materials. And the reason he found Ozark Fence was because he watched a YouTube channel on how to build fence.
I think that's exactly her next comment.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. We had a customer just come in yesterday for materials. He recently moved from Seattle, came to see us because he'd seen Joe on YouTube while researching installing his own fence.
Yep.
So Dustin, for Ozark Fence, that's going to be one of the benefits. And I think you've shared with me before where you'll have conversations similar to that on the installation side.
Yep, absolutely.
So, Dustin, that's obviously one of the benefits. That's a benefit to Ozark Fence is it keeps us in front of clients to where whether they're talking about buying fence material from Candace or thinking about having it installed with Sarah, or even Dad said that he's had some guys. So our dad, Jim runs our commercial division.
Yep.
And he said a few times that folks will mention watching me on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it benefits Ozark Fence simply by having more exposure out there in the world. It also is an additional stream of revenue for Ozark Fence. So it kind of normalizes our winter. So wintertime for a fence company is generally slower. So now through, once your YouTube channel gets to a certain size, YouTube will start displaying ads. Well, let me back up. This is how it was prior to a month ago. They would only put ads. You could only monetize it after your page got to a certain size. Now they're putting ads. They've announced that they're going to put ads pretty much across the board, but only give the monetization to channels that reach a certain size, which is different than how it was. But anyway, so we get a portion of the ad revenue from the ads that are on our YouTube videos, and it gets deposited just into Ozark Fence. So it helps us normalize our wintertime. Yep. Obviously we're in a new facility. With a new facility comes a price tag.
Yep.
So part of that price tag during the summertime is the price tag is absolutely fine. If we're talking about January, when things are a bit slower, that price tag is
a little more
substantial. So a little more significant. But now through the YouTube channel, it helps us, normalize wintertime. So brings clients in the door. Also through ad revenue, helps the business get through slower times.
Yep.
Have you noticed any other benefits of YouTube other than we get to have an awesome studio for Ask a Fence Gal?
I've got big ideas for our Ozark Fence one.
Yeah.
Now we have the studio, we're able to do it.
Sure.
But no, I think that's the biggest one is I've heard people say, oh yeah, I looked on. The biggest one, like steel posts. So people will look on, because it's a somewhat newer thing to this industry, this place, I'd say within the last 10 years, maybe.
Yeah.
So you would see round, but you wouldn't see the postmaster.
They've been out longer than that, but
here.
But you're right. In the last 10 years, they've really started becoming more and more mainstream.
Right. So I think that's the biggest one is people will go to do research on it. They'll go, what does this steel post look like? Sure. And they stumble upon it. And that's when they're like, wait a minute, I have an appointment with these people. Like, that's kind of neat that they're, industry leaders here for those things. So yeah, I bet in the last 6 months, I've been to at least 3 or 4 consults where they're like, hey, I saw a guy with a beard. And I said, oh no. Oh no.
Was he an extremely charming fellow? If so, I know the one you're talking about.
And every time I always tell him, I'm like, oh, don't tell him, it'll go to his head. We're keeping this conversation between us. Yeah. But no, that's the biggest one. And I think on the Ozark Fence side, the way I see could really benefit us is to have kind of like a playlist of like videos. A lot of people don't like to read. Maybe you want to multitask or you'd rather listen or see a video. That's big. And I think that could really help to see a face, and have someone explain something to you.
Sure.
That maybe you just are not going to understand by reading. It's just, it's kind of like in class or in-person classes versus virtual. People learn different ways. So I think that's a huge thing. And being able to like show them. I'm a very visual person.
Sure.
So if I can't see it, I'm not going to understand it. Yeah. I say that to say like gate frames and posts and that kind of stuff. Okay. That's where I look at where I'm going, oh, it has a steel frame. And they're going, it's all going to be metal. No. Just a frame is. And they're like, well, what's the frame? So I could see where that'd be a huge benefit too of saying, hey, here's how we do this. So yeah.
Well, it's basically kind of like the Marcus Sheridan approach of they ask, you answer.
Yes. Yep. That's huge. And that'd be another really good one, Dustin, to look into is Marcus Sheridan. And he's big on like blog posts and stuff is where he kind of started. But I think now his more recent stuff has kind of like reached into anywhere that you can find your demographic, like be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah. Whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, Roger Wakefield that chimed in earlier is huge on TikTok.
That's awesome.
So, find out where your people are and serve them content where they like to be.
Yeah.
And the Marcus Sheridan approach is basically taking, your top 10 customer questions, your most frequently asked questions, and that's your first 10 videos.
Yeah.
Right. So where do you do your thing? How do you do your thing? What makes you different than this other approach? In Marcus's case, it was swimming pools is how he started out the they ask you answer, and just talking about what's the difference between a fiberglass pool and a concrete, or a square pool or a kidney shaped pool, and just on and on. Your most frequently asked questions, So that's when I go and I talk to contractor groups. That's basically I parrot him when I say you got to start creating video content. Because to your point, I think people consume video content more readily than print content.
Absolutely.
You can also, with video, you get tonality. You can see facial expressions.
Yep.
You can generally convey more of your message through video.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
So, and that's one of the things that Sarah and I have kind of chatted about, and it's on our list.
Yeah.
The list is long, but it's on the list of kind of doing those frequently asked questions. And another thing we talked about doing is a what to expect.
Yep.
So, you've submitted your online quote tool. What to expect now? Or
even walking through the quote tool too, I think would be really beneficial.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a certain age range where technology is maybe a little overwhelming.
Sure. Yeah.
And so just to be able to, I'm a screenshot person.
Yep.
So you can walk me through it. I can do it. But then if I have questions, it's always nice to go back to a screenshot to say, okay, this is how I do it. But now I've noticed that if I'm trying to fix something or I'm trying to learn a new skill, whatnot, I always go to YouTube. Like I'm always okay, show me how to do this. Like I can read it all I want, but until I see you physically doing it and I can reference that, that's just money.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, the number one search engine in the world is Google. The number one video search engine in the world is YouTube. And YouTube happens to be owned by Google. So if someone's searching for your thing and you have a video that's performed well, then when someone searches on just standard Google, hey, how do I do this thing? You got a pretty good shot at your video showing up there.
Yeah.
So not only do, Google says, not only can I tell you how to do it, I can show you how to do it, or this person can show you how to do it. Yep. We see, so behind the scenes in YouTube, we get different analytics on where people come to our channel, and a decent percent come from Google search.
I believe that. I mean, that's the first. You'll have your advertisers up at the front.
Right. Yep.
And then that next one will be, it'll be all
Sometimes
the
a map is there. The map pack will be there.
What it is. Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
If you type in near me.
Yes.
Definitely getting the map pack.
Definitely the map. How to. It's like always the second thing is the videos.
Yeah.
Every time.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of cool. So I say, there's so many different benefits that you can get from YouTube.
Absolutely.
And social media in general.
Yep.
Because that's kind of the go-to now. So I'd be curious. I want to pick Roger's brain on TikTok. Because I don't want to brag, but I made a video the other day. My very first video.
Okay.
All right. How did you do? I blurred out the Ozark Fence shirt that I was wearing.
Okay.
But I had like 10 people share it.
Nice.
I liked it. And I didn't even know them.
Did you go viral?
I mean, if like 10's viral, then yeah. Sure did.
But yeah, so I
would be curious to see how that works like in a business setting. I think that'd be cool.
And so there's someone else. So I guess 2 years ago, the last time I was at Social Media Marketing World, we were talking, I believe the talk was on TikTok, and the Bentist came up. So you should follow if you don't already.
I know who you're talking about.
The Bentist is a dentist. Mm-hmm. I'm taking a shot that his name's Ben.
Sure.
And he does TikTok video. He does videos everywhere, but specifically TikTok videos on how to take care of your braces, how to, what to do before you go see a dentist. What does this tool do? That sort of thing. Yep, but he does it in an incredibly humorous way. And I mean, the way you keep people's attention is the top two are entertainment and education.
Yep.
So if you can be funny while educating,
bam,
that's where it's at.
Yeah.
And this guy's got that figured out. He can also do the TikTok dances, so he's got that going for him. But no, I think
very cool.
And they cited some statistics on how it's affected his business, and it's had a very positive impact on his business.
That's really cool.
So yeah. So if you could just start doing the TikTok fence videos, tomorrow, that'd be great.
Make like
you gotta learn the
a TikTok dances.
Studio? Yeah.
Is that gonna be the next room?
Could be. Could be the TikTok dance studio.
We're gonna need a lot of takes. I don't have rhythm.
I think I could probably allocate one of the workshops downstairs if you would like more space for your TikTok dance studio.
All right.
I'm just saying.
You heard it here, folks.
So keep an eye out for Sarah's TikTok dances. Brent says, my best video, allies.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Ally's finger got bit off by a lobster.
Oh.
People have been coming there.
This is Charlie. Charlie, you bit my finger. Oh. The little baby one where his brother bites him.
Reread this one. My best video, Ally's finger got bit off by a lobster. People have been coming there because there's Charlie bit my finger has 880 million views.
So those of you who have not seen it, it's a little. Don't kill me if you're British, but it's like I think it's of English descent.
Okay.
A young boy, and I believe they're in a car or something. But it's his brother. He had a little baby brother, and he's like playing with him, and then his brother bites him on the finger, and so he's like, "Ow, Charlie, you bit my finger," and like he's really like heartbroken. Like he just can't believe his little brother did this.
Yeah.
And so he just kind of keeps saying it. But I think it's the accent and like, it's kind of like the Listen Linda, like that video, like where in theory you're like, okay, it's not that funny. And then you watch it and you're like, okay, that's
pretty good. It's pretty good.
So I could see that. Yeah. Where people are searching for the Charlie bit my finger. And then they see, wait, Allie's finger got bit off by a lobster. Like, yep.
Good grief.
I can see that.
There you go. So Brent is telling us he's TikTok famous.
Yeah.
Was it TikTok or was it YouTube?
Could be both.
I need to find Brent's TikTok if it was on TikTok because I don't know that I follow you on TikTok, and I need to. I don't watch TikTok a lot. I usually watch it just here and there. Mm-hmm. But Jackson loves watching TikTok.
Yeah.
Jackson's favorite TikTok, and I have to. So he's probably watching, and I'm thinking about Taylor's time right now. So I don't want. Because if he hears this, he's going to want to see it. But there's an animal, a marsupial with a pouch that jumps. Mm-hmm. There's a guy that raises those.
Oh, that's cool.
And in his house.
That's even cooler.
And all of his TikToks are about this thing just bouncing around.
Okay.
The one that Jackson thinks is hilarious. So this thing sleeps in a bed.
Very cool.
And it's this thing bounding up the stairs.
That's cool.
And then he goes to bed.
Perfect.
That's what we watch.
Okay.
On repeat.
I like that.
All night long. And he wants to watch these things. It's all in the title.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's true.
So, and that's a lesson that we learned on YouTube, right? Is the title and the thumbnail. So YouTube thumbnails are a thing. In TikTok, thumbnails there are no thumbnails, right? But it's all in the title. Absolutely.
Yep.
For sure. All right. What time is it? What time we got here? Is it about time? All right. We got 8 minutes. So, folks, if you've got a question, comment otherwise, be sure to leave it. I'm checking my messages because sometimes we'll get questions sent in. So I just want to make sure. All right. I think we're pretty well caught up.
Yeah.
Very good. So those of you that watch my YouTube channel, we've actually switched YouTube lives to Saturdays.
Okay.
So Saturday mornings to try to be more, accommodating for everyone's time. Sure. So Saturday from 10 to 12:30 p.m. 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And tomorrow I'm bringing on Fence Armor and Post Saver.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Yeah. So
nice.
Al Martins is his name. He started off, well, actually, I'll have to ask him which came first, Fence Armor or Post Saver. But Post Savers are the sleeve that when applied with heat, with a heat gun or with an open flame, they heat shrink essentially onto this post and they seal it. Mm-hmm. So instead of, in some of my videos where we talk about preventing rot and that sort of thing, people will come up with all sorts of great ideas on how to keep, rot, which is like, you should slather on roofing tar, you should coat it in motor oil, and just all these things. Well, what this does is essentially it has a tar-like substance inside of it,
sleeve.
Seals it, yeah. And so it prevents rot. And I want to say, I'll have to ask Al, but I want to say it has like a 20-year warranty too against rot. So
that's what a lot, and TJ, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what they do with poles. What's your poles?
So they have a Post Saver 2.0.
Oh.
That is for like utility poles.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask Al about that too.
Yeah.
Because
he was explaining like it has like some kind of coating in it. It basically does. It's like a sleeve that it sits in. Okay.
Yeah, because the microbial zone is where, it's the first 12 to 16 inches of soil has all the microbes and microfauna that lead to rot in a post. And so by sealing that out, so it sits, 6 or 8 inches above the surface, it goes, 18 inches, 20 inches below the surface. It basically creates a shield around this post.
Very cool.
So yeah, we're going to interview Al tomorrow, talk to him about that. So I'm excited for that.
Heck yeah, that'll be good.
Dustin, thank you. Appreciate you tuning in for sure. Well, guys, might just start wrapping this up. Sarah, if someone's got fence questions for you, how can they send you an email?
Yeah, so it's Sarah with an H.
Now, let me put this up. I still haven't changed it.
Fixed it.
No. And that would be too on the ball for me. But there it is. I'm not Sarah, obviously. But
so Sarah at ozfence.com.
There you go.
Yep.
Someone wants to send me, an email, or if you would like to send me like an Amazon e-gift card, Joe at ozfence.com. You can also leave your questions and comments in the comments below. Absolutely. We like watching these throughout the week and having a good laugh because some folks will watch this on replay and leave comments down below. So we usually get the Facebook notifications and check those out.
Yes.
But till next time, guys, I think we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, sounds good.
We will see you guys next week. We didn't vote on Fri-YAY. We didn't get any votes on Fri-YAY. Next week, people, we are talking about, is it still going to be Fri-YAY or is it going to be Friday or is it going to be a third option? Is it Ask a Fence Gal what?
Here's
Friday, Fri-YAY?
My challenge. Bring your most creative Friday puns.
Okay. We did get one submission, I think.
The yippee one? Yeah.
Yippee, Ask a Fence Gal, Yippee Fri-YAY.
Yep.
I modified this, obviously, but.
Yep. I like that one, though.
Or is it Fri-YIPPIA?
No.
Ask a Fence Gal.
Yippee Fri-YAY. Yep.
Okay. Bring your guys' most creative ideas on what are we going to call this thing for the next quarter. Every quarter, we're going to change it. Or we're not.
We're not. Yeah.
Or we're not. If you guys say, I want it to be Ask a Fence Gal Fri-YAY, then it will be.
Fri-YAY or bust.
For those of you just joining, you missed the call to action that I issued. Republic Nutrition, obviously in New Republic, has been also calling their Friday lives Fri-YAY. And we'd like you to take action on that. So here's what we'd like you to do.
Yep.
And Sarah had a good addition to this. Yeah. So we want you to go over there.
Just march up to the building.
Politely. Yeah. And then you're going to open that door. And you're going to hold it open as you let whoever's going through go through. Yep. And then you're going to walk in, also politely. Yeah. You're going to say, please, may I?
After standing in line, your turn.
Yeah, wait your turn. Wait your turn. Yeah. They're usually busy. Yeah. You have to wait for 2 or 3 people, but it's worthwhile because usually they have puppy videos up on the TV. Yeah. They got good music playing.
And you can watch them while scowling.
Yes.
You want them to know that you're serious.
So you can but you don't want to scare people though. So maybe not scowl, but just like you need to be intent. Okay. And then when it's your turn, you politely walk up and you say, may I please have a Mahomie or a bee's knees or a lemonade? Also, P.S. It was Ask A Fence Gal Fri-YAY first.
Yes.
If you don't stop it, I'm going to come in here again. Yep. I'm going to get more delicious drinks, and we're going to talk about it again. Yep. And after you do that, if you happen to be coming back to Springfield and coming by, and you want to bring some teas over, that'd be fine too.
Yeah.
But be sure they know.
Preferably one of those really large blue drinks.
The blue with coconut.
Yeah.
I think that is the Miami Vice.
I don't know what it's called, but it's blue. It tastes like blue. You know what I mean?
Research will be needed.
Yeah.
We're going to need to figure this out.
So the first person to go in there and march up and tell them this.
Yeah.
Please find out what that is called.
March up politely. Delicious. Yes, absolutely. For sure. But P.S.
Yeah.
It was Ask A Fence Gal Fri-YAY first.
Yeah. You say, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Please and thank you.
But also it was Fri-YAY first.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys have a good day.
Yeah.
And then you leave.
That's right.
While holding the door.
You hold the door open.
You do
let some more people in.
Let the little old lady out.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yep. And then you if you're coming back to town, you just go ahead and bring us a drink because it's really good and I like them a lot. Yeah. But anyway, just thought you guys should know. Call to arms.
Yes. All right. Thank you guys for watching.
Guys, appreciate you guys dealing with our ridiculous selves. Brent put it well. Peace and love.
Yes.
Have a great weekend, people.
A great weekend.
We'll see you guys next week, next Friday, for Ask A Fence Gal Fri-YAY, or whatever it is we call it.